Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Waterford Expats Show. We're starting today with a little walking tour of the city centre. We are looking down Broad Street here towards the quay. This little plaza here to the left is created by the City Council. I'm looking down here now towards what I think is Peter Street. Dunn Stores on the corner there, and we're looking back up here towards Michael Street. We have moved down here now to Barronstrand Street, or what is now John Roberts Square. Old timers like myself will remember this spot as Woolworths, which is now of course Penny's. And this spot used to be Egan's pub, one of Waterford's oldest landmarks, now disappeared. We're looking here towards George's Street, and this is one of the many vacant shop units now in the city centre. And this, of course, is another great old Waterford landmark, O'Flynn's Butcher Shop. And still in Barronstrand Street, we're looking at what used to be the Savoy Cinema, there with Supermax to the left and the Book Centre to the right. This iconic building, the Book Centre, is of course well known worldwide and is one of Ireland's most popular and best bookshops. And looking up Broad Street here now, we are going to go back in time. This is almost 70 years ago. The man in the picture is my father, and he's walking down Broad Street here towards Barronstrand Street. He is passing Dr. White's, and the car on the right there is Dr. White's car. My father is seen here wearing his brand new Burberry coat, which were all the rage in 1943. And back to the present. We're looking down George's Street here, and to the left is a shop called J&K Welch's. Now this shop has not changed one bit as far back as I can remember. I remember we used to go in there and buy Tony wine and cider to drink it on the stony steps when we were teenagers. And directly opposite Welch's there on the other side of the street, yet another vacant premises. I remember this used to be Dunphy's shop, and the shop to the left is also vacant. And still in George Street, we are looking up towards O'Connell Street. O'Connell Street is now a one-way street. Looking back down George's Street here, that's a new shop there in front of us, a kids wear shop, I'm sure. Shows, of course, there. And one of Waterford's oldest landmarks, T&H Doolan's, which is actually Ireland's oldest pub. We're going to take a little shortcut here now back towards Patrick Street, which I think only the locals would know about. Can't remember the name of this little laneway though. As we emerge from the laneway here, we come into this car park. We're looking, of course, at the old city walls in front of us here. That's Carthages Park up there. And looking back down there now from the direction we came, that is the car park behind the Book Centre. This, the Shoe Centre, of course, which is another great Waterford landmark. I think this is Little Patrick Street that we're coming up into here now, which will take us back out onto Patrick Street. And we're on Patrick Street here, looking across the road at what used to be Henry Malloy's old butcher shop. And here on the left, what used to be the Regina Cinema and later Waterford Cineplex is now closed up. And looking across the street here on the opposite corner, what used to be known as Burton's Corner is now Aware. And walking down this direction will of course bring us back onto Broad Street, and we are now looking in the direction of Michael Street. And here at the junction of Broad Street and Michael Street, what used to be the Stand Bar, which is now history. And here is another Waterford institution, the world famous Slushy Company. And as we continue down Michael Street here, there are still some old familiar names about. On the right here, O'Keefe's Monumental Works. And actually here on the right as well, Greer's Cake Shop. And they've been around here a long time. And across the street there is Phelan's Pharmacy, another long established Waterford business. And as we approach Newgate Street here, on the corner, the USA stores. The USA stores is there as long as I can remember. I remember buying my first Levi's jacket there with my first week's wages out of the glass factory. This is Newgate Street where there is a multi-storey car park on the right there. And looking across here at the Apple Market. There is still actually a market held there every Saturday. And walking down Michael Street here, there is a mixture of old and new. This area has become the nightclub district of Waterford. Down here at what we used to call the car stand, here at the corner, there are various bars and nightclubs. The whole area is full of fast food places, restaurants. Here on the right, pizza, kebabs. And looking down there now towards Johnstown, a big place on the corner there on the right is Muldoon's Pub, Oxygen Nightclub. On the opposite corner, Abracadabra. And coming up here, there's lots of nice restaurants. Sumatra had a lovely breakfast there yesterday morning. Bodega there, very good restaurant, very popular. And still on John Street, this is an old Waterford institution, Jeff's Bar. Coming down here towards a new Waterford institution, the Gentleman's Club. Presumably gentlemen come into this place to partake of some light refreshments and play games such as cards and darts. And we're back up here in the Apple Market outside the Wacky Apple Pub, and it's certainly a sign of the times when you see the price of drinks displayed outside the bar like this. The price of a pint there is £3.50. I can remember when the beer was 2 shillings and the cider was 1 shilling. And we have moved away from the city centre. I'm in St. Carthages Avenue and I'm filming Connolly Place. I'm sure a lot of Waterford people would actually have never heard of St. Carthages Avenue. It's at the west end of Barrack Street and it's a great place to view the city from. This is St. Carthages Avenue. And we're looking west here, we're actually looking towards Connolly Place. Blake's Lane is just in front of that chimney pot there to the right. And this is the view from St. Carthages Avenue. This is the Little Sisters of the Poor, which is now an old people's home. And here's the view across the city. Again looking to the west here. In the distance there we can see the old city dump, the landfill site, which has now been completely covered over and, as far as I know, is going to be opened up as a parkland area sometime in the near future. It's interesting looking across the city here because it's actually difficult to identify what's what when you see it in this way. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time when we will visit an amazing wildlife phenomenon in the centre of Waterford City. This of course is not the wildlife story, this is just me trying to be funny. Our wildlife story is in fact the bilberry goats. The amazing spectacle of a herd of wild goats living in what is effectively a city centre.